first question says we should determine the value of P. And then we can check what P means. Okay, so this is the equation that has P. So we have g of x there, and we need to calculate P. So we can ask ourselves, what does P mean? And we can see that P is our vertical asymptote there. So it's our vertical asymptote of the hyperbola. So we can see that there x is equal to 1. Okay, so we know that OP is our vertical asymptote. And we know that at that point x is equal to 1. But the equation, we're given the equation as ax plus p. So something that you need to note here is x plus p, right? So you know that this is supposed to be x plus p is equal to 0 for you to be able to find the x value or the p value. And you know that your asymptote is 1. So you have 1 plus p equal to 0. Therefore, the value of p is equal to -1, right? So p is not equal to 1, it's -1 because you have that positive sign there. So this means that because the question said write down the value of p, you do not have to calculate this. In here, I was trying to show you how do you get p of -1. So when you're given your equation as x plus p and your x is equal to positive something, your p value is going to be negative. But if the equation said, let's say it said a over x minus p, your p value would be the same as your x value because this is minus. So you need to note what is your equation. Is it x plus p or x minus p? And in this case, it's x plus p. Therefore, the p value is going to be the negative of the x value, which is your vertical asymptote. And that is question 1. So that is 1 mark. So question 2, let's go to question 2. Question 2 says we should show that a is equal to 3 and b is equal to 2. And then from the equation, this is a. This is a, so a is part of the hyperbola and b is part of the parabola. So we're going to find a first. So we're going to find a. So a is in the equation, a of x minus 1. This is, so it's in this equation. This is y equal to. So we already found that p was -1. So we need to find the value of a. So on your graph, you need to find one point that you want to substitute here to get a. So let's go back to the equation again. So we can take the point D. You see D, it is on the hyperbola. So the point D, we can see that it is the y-intercept of both graphs. And we can already see that from the parabola that this point is 0 is to -3. Is 0 and -3. So we're going to take that point, which is 0 and -3, and we substitute it here to get the a value. So y is equal to -3. And we have a there. And x is 0 minus 1. So you're going to have -3 is equal to a of -1. Therefore, a is equal to 3. You go to b. So we said b, you can find b on that equation of the parabola, bx minus 3. So even here, you can take 1 point. So we're going to take the x-intercept. Okay, yes, we know the x-intercept. We have 1 is to 0. Put that point there, and we're going to substitute it here. So we have, this is going to be 0. This is 1 squared plus bx minus 3. Okay, we said x is 1. And then we want this 1 minus 3 is minus 2. This is minus 2 plus b. This is 0. Therefore, b is equal to 2. So b is equal to 2. And then we shown that b and a are equal to what they asked. So now something that you need to point out, let's say you were not able to show that b is equal to 2 and you were not able to show that a is equal to 3. What you can do to go to the next question, you can just take the points that they said a is equal to and b is equal to. Meaning for you to go to number C, you can take the values a equal to 3 and b equal to 2, even if you were not able to calculate because they already gave you the answer. So question C, number 3 says, calculate the coordinates of C. So we go to our graph to check what is C. So this is C, which is the turning point. So you know how to calculate your turning point. So let's calculate the turning point. So now you can take the equation of your parabola, which is x squared, and we said b 2x minus 3. So you can use this equation minus b over 2a, which comes from your gradient at the turning point. So you know that you know what is b now. That's why I was saying if you were not able to show that b was equal to 2, you can just take b is equal to 2. So you can say minus 2 over 2 times, and a at this point is 1. So you can say 1. And you can see, oh, okay, my x is going to be equal to negative 1. Now that you have x, you can take this x and put it here to calculate y. And y is going to be, y is equal to 1 squared minus 1 squared plus 2 times minus 1 minus 3. So this is 1 minus 2 minus 3 minus 5 plus 1 is minus 4. Therefore, the coordinates of C is going to be minus 1 is to minus 4. You can check this, you can check if you're on the right track by going to your point just to verify if what you got is close to be the answer. Okay, you can see that you are in this quadrant. So you're expecting your values to be both negative and your y value should be less than this one because this one is minus 3. So if you're getting minus 4, you can pretty much see that, okay, you're on the right track and this is minus 1, which is your x. So you're on the right quadrant. You move on. The next question says, write down the range of f. So you know the range. To calculate the range, you have your graph. You check where is your graph defined on the y-axis. For example, if this is your graph, you can see that it is defined from here to that point. So it's always from the turning point up. This is why these questions are like this. They were not going to ask you this question first before they ask the coordinates of C. They ask the coordinates of C so that they can ask what is the range, right? So now that you know that the coordinates is minus 4, which is your y point is y equal to minus 4. So you can start there and see that, oh, my graph starts to be defined from here upwards. So your range, your y value should be y greater or equal to minus 4. So from this point up, your graph is defined. And that is your range. You get your 2 marks. Or you can still write it, y is the element of negative 4. This means it's also equal to or to infinity, but you close the bracket like that to show that the infinity is not included. So you can write it like that or you can write it like this. So number 5 says, determine the equation of the line through C that makes an angle of 45 degrees with the positive x-axis. This is why I uploaded the video of calculating the equation of a line passing through a point and it makes an angle. So here you have, they're telling you that it's passing through point C. So this is your point C. And it cuts the with the positive axis. So you go to your point C, you draw a straight line. The reason why I'm drawing it like this, it needs to cut the positive axis. I can't draw it this way because it's going to cut the negative axis. So this angle here is 45 degrees. And I know that the reason why they're giving me the angle, they're also telling me the the gradient. Okay, so we answered this, that we said y should be greater than -4, should be greater or equal to -4. So we can go to, like I said, it told us that the angle with the positive axis is 45 degrees and it cuts through point C, which is -1 is to -4. What do we know about the angle and the gradient? So we know that m is equal to tan the angle. So the angle is 45 degrees. So what is tan 45? Tan 45 is 1. So we know that the gradient is 1 and we have a point which is -1 and -4. And we can use this y minus y1 is equal to m of x minus x1. And we know that, okay, y minus y1 is -4. So it's going to be -4 equal to +1, which is the gradient, -1. So we have y equal to 1 times x is x. This is positive, so it's going to be +1 plus, this is +4, so it's going to be -4. Y is equal to x minus 3. So your equation of this new line which passes through point C is going to be y equal to x minus 3. And how many marks is that? So you have your 3 marks easy like that. And then this interesting question, which is nice. 4.6 says, is a straight line which you determine in question 4.5, which is y equal to x minus 3. A tangent to f. Explain your answer. You can answer this in 2 ways, but because it's 2 marks, you can choose the easiest way out. So for a line to be a tangent, it needs to cut that graph. We need to cut the graph once. So we already know that this point cuts through C. They told us that that point passes through C. And now they are telling us that it is y equal to x minus 3. So if it's cutting through C and also cuts through D, that means that is 2 points already. So if it's 2 points, that means this is not a tangent. So you can say this straight line is not a tangent to F because it cuts the graph in 2 points, point C and point D. And you're done, you get your 2 marks. And then you have 4.7. So for 4.7, you have these questions, they always the last questions. You always find these questions like at the end. And you probably leave them. I used to leave them until a certain point. But the question says, the function of h of x is equal to f of m minus x plus q and has only one x-intercept. So I want to write this one here to show you how easy it is. So it's saying you have a new function, which is h of x. It's a new function. They're telling you that now h of x takes in inputs, which is m minus x. So wherever you see x, you're going to put m minus x. And they're also telling you that it's plus q. So you go to your f of x. You know your f of x, that it is equal to x squared plus, we said b is 2x minus 3. This is your f of x. They're telling you that you're going to put now m minus x plus q. So it's going to be, this is h of x now. Wherever you see x, you're going to put m minus x, this is squared, plus 2. In the place of x, you're going to put m minus x minus 3. And then they're saying you also say plus 3. So the way you can solve this means, you see, it's within the brackets of f of x, because you know that it was going to be f of x. So now they're saying you have f of a. This a is m minus x, and then they're saying this is plus q. So if it's outside of f of a, you are adding it onto y. And if it's inside, which means it's an input, you're adding it in the place of x. So wherever you see x, we put m minus x, and this is f of minus x. But now they are saying you should also add plus 2, hence that plus 2 there. So what else did they tell us? How are we going to find m and 2? They also told us that the new graph, which is h of x, has one x-intercept at x is equal to 0. For a parabola to have, you need to understand now your basics of a parabola. For a parabola to have one x-intercept, it means it's like that. It could be like that. It could be like that. Right? So it could be like that. It can be the top one or the bottom one. So you already know that your what is this? Your turning point. You know that your turning point is 0 and 0, and you also know that your x-intercept is only 1. You have 0. So this is already the answer. Remember, you can solve your, okay, so let's go to h of x. So we want to solve h of x so that it gives us a graph like that. So h of x, we said it's m minus x squared plus 2 plus m minus x times 2 minus 3 plus 2. So we can come here and solve this. We have m, this is going to be m squared minus 2mx plus x squared. So this is just me solving this part. And then you have plus, then you multiply, you have 2m minus 2x minus 3 plus 2. So you can take the constants together and then the coefficients of x, and then you can take the coefficients of x squared. So let's take the coefficients of x squared. So you just have 1x squared. And then let's take the coefficients of x. You have minus 2m, and minus 2. So all these are coefficients of x. And then you take the constants. Then you have minus 3 plus 2 minus m squared. So these are your constants. So these are your constants. So this is h of x. Right? So now you already see that the coefficient of x squared is positive. So already you know that my graph, let's go back to the graphs. So your graph is definitely not this one, because your coefficients is for the coefficient of a, the a value is positive, which is 1. So you have your graph to be the positive one. So how do you solve this equation now for you to get the 4 marks? So for you to get the 4 marks, you know already my answer has to be x squared. So this is supposed to be your answer. This means minus 2m minus 2 should be equal to 0 because you do not need that coefficient. So already you can see that, oh, if that is the case, that means m is minus 2 over 2, which is equal to minus 1. So already you know that m is minus 1 because you need that coefficient to be 0. This is your second equation, which is 3 minus 3 plus 2 minus m squared. This is your answer, Mos. So this answer has no intercept. So this also needs to be 0. So, okay, you know that, okay, I have minus 3 plus 2 minus m is minus 1. So this is going to be minus 1 squared is equal to 0. So 2 is going to be equal to, so this is minus 3. You solve that is 1. Then it's going to be minus 1. So you go there, minus 3 This is 1 squared minus minus 1. So you have minus 3. This is minus 4. Okay, but you took it to the other side. So this is going to be positive 4. So that is where we were calculating that. So the value of Q is 4 and the value of M is minus 1. And you have your 4 marks. And this is a total of 19 marks. And you are done.